they must tremble. Enemies, they must tremble. Yo, and when you roll, everything have to humble. Everything have to humble. I'm a go-getter. I just go hard, I just go hard. And I'm a kind of fella. Put my trust in God, put my trust in God. That simple means say nobody. You gotta be firm in this time, son. You gotta be strong in this time.
You got to be strong in this time, especially in this time. Yeah. What's up, Ridealong? It's Thursday. It seems just like yesterday I was here saying welcome to Monday. So they say, guys, you can't waste no time. And time to wait on nobody, Jed. Time to wait on nobody. Take advantage of the now. NOW. Don't wait. Don't waste time. Yeah. How you guys doing? Andrea, how you doing? Big up yourself. Big up yourself. Guys, share the program. Share the program. Share the program like I'm doing right now. Share it once. Share it twice. Share it 3 times. In fact, Odessa, how you doing? Patricia, how you doing? In fact, I'm going to start recognizing some of the top sharers. I'm going to start recognizing some of Ridealong top contributors and top sharers. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to have a championship trophy. That's what we're going to start doing. Yeah, that's what we're going to start doing. So I'm going to talk to my producer, Lynn, so she can organize it and make this happen. Our championship trophy of sharing. Who shared most? Who come in first? Yeah, all of that stuff. We're gonna be giving away stuff. Vincy Queen, how you doing? Welcome, Elena. Doreen Mark, how you doing? I'm sharing, guys. I'm sharing to a few pages because today is very important, very interesting, and I want everyone, not only if you represent for Haiti or for St. Vincent and the Grenadines or for any other part of the Caribbean, but if you just have some kind of empathy, you would watch this program and you would share this program and you would continue to share, because there is a lot to digest. What is going on in this world, guys? What's going on in the Caribbean? What's happening? A lot of crazy stuff. Yes.
Just show me some strength.
Doreen, you good? Abigail, how you doing? Lacey J, I see you. Yeah. Guys, what's happening? Ali, how you doing? Big up yourself. Yulene Alexander, thank you for watching. Yeah, guys. Welcome to Ridealong for today. Another beautiful day, although it's raining, and for some people they're having the tail end of Elsa, and some people are having the front end of Elsa. We just got word that there might be a flash flood warning for the area precisely where I'm sitting. There's a flash flood warning. So at any given time, if you guys see I jump off from this set and I start to run in my house, it's because the water is coming down, all right? And you could take the car, but you ain't gonna take me. Leave to fight another day. I'm gonna grab the computer, the microphone, the cameras, but that's it. I ain't gonna stay back and try to fight to save no car, all right? So that's what's happening right now. We are at the front end, and we're expecting a lot of rain. And for those of you in Florida, I know that there's a tornado warning. Yeah, there's a tornado warning over there. Everything is so unstable. On top of the fact that there is COVID-19 on the rise, there's a new variant that's killing more people, sending more people to the hospital. There is conspiracy theories. There is all kind of crazy, but crazy of all crazy, guys. The madness of all madness we saw unfold yesterday. Yeah, let me tell you guys what happened in case you haven't been paying attention. And we're going to preface the show like this. Yesterday, in case you was under a rock, the president of Haiti was assassinated. President Moise was assassinated yesterday, right? How the hell do you assassinate a president in 2021? Guys, there is a lot of suspicion. There is a lot of things happening. There is a lot of investigation. In fact, I was speaking to someone from Haiti today, and they promised an interview to give us some in-depth information and an analysis on what's happening in Haiti. 5 minutes after this interview was scheduled, it was canceled because the person feared for their safety, and it was not even in Haiti. So there's a lot of stuff happening right now, but it's good to understand how we got where we are as it relates to Haiti. So let me bring you guys up to speed as far as what we know before we talk about what's happening in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. This is what's happening in Haiti yesterday. Yes, yesterday we saw this unfolded in front of the eyes of the world. The president of Haiti was assassinated, shot about 12 times, right? 12 times. And it, again, there is a lot of questions surrounding what happened to his security guards, what happened to his security detail, what happened to the president being so protected in such a protected place that something like that could never happen. There are many, many questions and not so much answers. Many, many questions. And also in this clip, guys, a lot of people are questioning what transpired because somewhere in this particular clip that you're watching, let me see if I could play this piece back. This is very concerning to a lot of people. Let me see if I could play back the audio on this particular clip. Listen to this. That's gunfire outside the president's residence. And someone shouted, DEA operation. DEA operation. That's gunfire outside. Yes, guys, and that was how it unfolded yesterday. Now, I want to play this other clip, guys, because it kind of explains what transpired prior to what we saw yesterday about the political structure of Haiti. Kellan Bob gave a very in-depth interview with GBN earlier today, and he explained the socio-economical and political structure of Haiti. Listen to Kellan Bob's analysis of what transpired and how we got where we are today. Check this out.
But I think we have to put yesterday's assassination, as I said, into the context of the ongoing internecine political conflicts in Haiti. And President Moise, he initially won the first round of elections in October 2016. October 2015. But because there were allegations of voter fraud, normally what happens in Haiti is that you would have a presidential runoff. So if you didn't meet a particular threshold, you're expected to have a runoff with the second round of elections. Now, a second vote was held again in November 2016 in that runoff. And that is where he won more than 55.6% of the votes in that particular election. And so he officially took office on the 7th of February 2017, a few months after that November 2016 elections, I'm sorry. Now, if we're counting 2016, November 2016, to November 2021, that would be 5 years, right? Based on, but the opposition forces in Haiti are saying no. Your election actually started. Your presidency started in October 2015 when you won that that initial first round of election. Okay. Now the Haitian Constitution in Article 1134-1 makes the point that the duration of the presidential mandate is supposed to be 5 years. And that period begins and ends on the 7th of February following the date of that election. So as I said before, he took office again officially in November 2016 is when he took office, right? But then 134-2 states that in the case that the vote cannot take place on the 7th of February, the elected president takes office immediately after the vote is confirmed. And his mandate is expected to begin on February 7th in the year of election. Sounds a bit confusing, but that is the constitutional mandate. And so the context of his current governance in Haiti is the dispute over whether or not he is still serving legitimately as president, or whether or not he should have, according to the Constitution, call fresh elections. And so he didn't do that. Instead of calling fresh elections, he said that his term in office does not expire until next year. Now, that is one source of the conflict. And so what has President Moise done during that period is that he essentially governed by decree. Okay? There was a suspension of the judiciary. There is a suspension of the legislative branches of government. The Congress, which is their version of the parliament, has not met for many years as a result of this. And so many in Haiti felt that he was adopting an authoritarian approach to governance. As a matter of fact, he was also supported by Juan Guaido.
Yes. So that was a basic analysis of the political structure in Haiti, right? Summed up that he basically was elected on one particular day. The early day didn't get the plurality or the majority of that vote. There was a runoff election, and he did in fact cross that majority. So he's counting that his presidency started not the first election that was held where he didn't get a majority. He actually started at the second election that was held. So if he took it from the first election, he should already call the election. People in Haiti grew anxious, and people in Haiti was protesting on the streets. A lot of services was suspended. The judiciary was suspended. And I mean, I spoke to a lot of friends in Haiti, and they were very, very furious about what's happening there. Social development, it was chaotic, right? That's what's happening in Haiti, and that's what happened in Haiti. But however, nothing justifies the assassination of a president. I just wanted to bring everyone up to speed as to what's happening. All right. So that's Haiti, and that's yesterday. That happened yesterday. I promise you guys, sometime next week, we're going to have a historian on this program to bring everyone up to speed as to what's the history of Haiti and political instabilities. It's very important that we understand that as well from that perspective. All right. Let's move closer afield. This is what's now happening in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I want you guys to pay attention, guys. It seems as they have been turmoil all over. This is St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Now, a group by the name of Hairouna started fueled up a protest over an incident that happened involving one man. His name is Mr. Cornelius John. He was shot in the leg, and we have the lawyer, we have the representative from Hairouna, and we also have Mr. Cornelius, who is on the program, who is going to be talking about this. But let me show you guys a quick clip as to what's happening in St. Vincent and the Grenadines as of recent. That was, I think, either yesterday. It was recently. This is a clip from St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Look at that! man. What am I fighting? What the hell? No, that's a... What am I fighting? What the hell? No, for real! Wow! Finally! Final fucking... Come on, man! Push them out the road, yes, man! Fucker. Yes! 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 Kick the fuck! Well, Megan, well done.
Guys, you're watching a clip of what transpired at a protest, at a freedom protest for an incident that happened because of well, I'm going to get the insight and full analysis of that. To tell us more about this particular incident and the ongoing protest in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we're joined by Nekeisha John. She is the founder of a organization in St. Vincent and the Grenadines called Rise Hairouna. We also have on the ground in St. Vincent and the Grenadines the PRO of Rise Hairouna. Her name is Nekeisha Williams. Nekeisha Williams and Miss John, welcome to Ride Along. Thank you guys for joining us. Give us some update. What is really happening in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and what bring us like how did we get here? What's happening right now? Nyla, I'm not
Sorry,
hearing.
my
Yeah,
apologies. I was muted.
yeah.
Yeah, good night, everyone. Junior and Nekeisha. Nekeisha's the PRO of Rise Hairouna on the ground, and so she's in the heat of things. So let me try to give a bit of background information as to why Rise Hairouna has started to protest against the government in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And then I'll get Nekeisha to give her side, as I said, she's in the heat. She's there every day protesting with the rest of the ground team. I think it would be about 2.5 months ago, maybe when Kay comes in, she can tell me exactly the time. I think it was about 2.5 months ago, going 3 months, that a man by the name of Mr. Cornelius John was shot on his property, and it came to he named 2 people. One, he accused a senator. Her name is Ashel Morgan, along with the deputy director of public prosecution. And he said that the guy fired the shot at him and shot him in his leg. And the senator, she was also present. They trespassed on his property, and there was a third person which they were refusing to name for quite a while. I think just about a week ago, they then named that individual. And the senator then took a gun and placed it at the mouth of Mr. Cornelius John and said, "If you effing call my name again, I will kill you. I will effing kill you." And an investigation, the police took a very long time to conclude the investigation. And now Mr. Cornelius John has been charged. I think it's 3 charges. And maybe Kay can speak more to that. And the senator was charged once, and I believe the DPP once or so. But the charges which were laid against them are minimal, and there were no charges of trespassing. And the senator, she has not been asked to, she hasn't resigned, or those in authority have not asked her to step down from her post as senator. She, after the incident came to the general public and we were aware of it, we started protesting and asked for her resignation. So we protested the parliament, I would say, I think about 3 weeks ago or a month ago. And then we continued our protest. So we've been protesting for the last week and a half. But our first protest was about 3 weeks ago, and we asked that she not enter the House of Parliament. And we also asked for her resignation and the resignation of the Commissioner of Police, along with the head of national security, which is the Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And so we have been protesting ever since, because this is a serious matter. We feel that the rule of law has not applied here. We also feel that the charges are not sufficient. Are we telling people that trespassing is legal? Because that charge wasn't brought against them. So someone can just enter your property and shoot you and walk away and everything's okay. And so this is a really, really serious matter that St. Vincent is currently facing. And Rise Hairouna is a nonpartisan group that was formed about 6 months ago. And we want the rule of law to apply. We want justice for all. And so, as you see in the video, that that protest that happened on Tuesday, and there was another protest today. Tuesday was terrible. A lot of protesters were brutalized, and maybe on the next program I can share some of the
Yeah.
testimony from protesters.
Let me
But
let
I
me
think
let me get a and thanks for that update. I mean, we're going to talk in full detail as to Rise Hairouna position on the protest. Let's bring in Kay a little bit just to get a legal perspective on this particular case, right? Kay is the attorney representing Mr. Cornelius John, the young man, the man that was shot in the leg, and at this point, there have been absolutely no justice. Hence, the reason why this whole protest started. But I want Ms. Bacchus, the attorney, to bring this all into perspective for us. Kay, give us the legal side of this argument right here. What is really happening?
Well, good night. Good night, Junior. Good night, everybody who's listening on this program. Now, as Junior said, I represent Mr. Cornelius John, a 62-year-old farmer who was shot while he was in his home relaxing by three assailants who trespassed onto his property. One was a woman who lived not too far from him and whom he knew from childhood growing up. That is the only thing that saved him, because he knew her voice, because they were all dressed in masks. Of course, it was like dusk, getting late in the afternoon when they came, and they were all dressed in masks because of COVID, of course. And the other one, well, the lady is the deputy speaker and senator and a lawyer in St. Vincent, a young woman in her 30s. And the gentleman whom he only could describe at the time as the taller of the two, he is the deputy director of public prosecutions and another lawyer. So these two high-powered individuals, along with another man, whom it was only because I insisted on disclosure, and you have to disclose having set a date for a trial, that we found out officially that the third person is a cousin of the DPP and his driver. So the three of them came to his yard uninvited and threatened him. And the DPP, according to Mr. John, kicked him off the stool that he did, the block that he was sitting on, and administered blows, and then actually held his foot and shot him in his leg, breaking the bone. And then the assistant the Deputy Speaker of the House and Senator Ashel Morgan, according to Mr. John, pulled a firearm, stuck it in his face, and said, "If you effing call my name, I will shoot you." Thereupon, the three of them left. Apparently, the third one tried to say, "Oh, you didn't, all of this was not necessary," but he was there nevertheless. The three of them left him on the ground bleeding. And if it were not for neighbors who came and assisted him, he might have died there. He might have bled to death. Now, after this happened, it appears that the powers that be tried to cover it up. The Prime Minister later on, after the news broke and everybody was up in arms, the Prime Minister came on the radio and admitted that he was called after the incident by Ashel, but not a single thing was done, save maybe to doctor his medical report. Now, we are convinced, Vincentians are convinced, and I am as a lawyer for Mr. John, that if the public did not make a big hue and cry when the news broke and demand to know who are these individuals, because Mr. John only recognized Ashel Morgan and called her name. And eventually the Commissioner of Police and the Prime Minister, who is also the Minister of National Security, revealed, yes, it was Ashel John and the DPP, but they will not for anything say who the third person was. I had gotten the information as to who he was, but it was not secure enough for me to call a name. And as I said, the only reason why I found out his name is because after they charged him, they had to give disclosure and we got his name. Now, the legal position is startling, absolutely startling. First of all, as I've said, there would have been no charges if the public did not, including Rice Hairouna, who caused demonstrations, and all the popular radio stations, they kept at it day in and day out until the DPP decided that what they will do now, this is a DPP who works along with the assistant DPP. She decided that she would try, because I wrote her, she decided that they would investigate. Now, I'm convinced that absolutely no investigation was done from the 13th of April when the incident occurred. The investigation apparently began in earnest around June. And around the 7th of June, for the first time, they went and they visited my client's home, ostensibly to take measurements of something that occurred like 2.5 months before. And as I said, because of the public hooray and outburst, they charged my client, the man who is the victim. They tried very hard. Hello?
Yeah, we're hearing you, Kay. Go right ahead.
They tried very hard to bring a charge of assault against him because it was alleged that there was a cutlass, that he had a cutlass, and he pulled it at them in his own yard. However, try as they may, they sent persons to interview witnesses over and over to get them to say that there was a cutlass. There's one independent witness who was there from the beginning and insisted that there was no cutlass. So they had to drop that charge. So the next thing was to say that he threatened the senator and he threatened his wife. And so they charged him with 3 charges of threatening language. And they charged the senator with 1 charge, a summary charge, and then they charged Kareem with 2 charges, all summary. Now, that means that only a magistrate gets to hear this matter, and it does not go before judge and jury. Nowhere in the history of St. Vincent you will have a man being shot in his leg and with a gun, and the perpetrators are charged as a small petty matter in the magistrate court. So that's the first
Okay.
thing.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Don't forget your trend of thought. So
Yes.
you telling me that this man was shot in his own yard. He was in his home, in his residence, in his place of residence, his yard. He was assaulted. He was shot in his leg by three individual, 2 of which was then identified as government officials. You telling me that they somehow turned that around and was able to put up some charges against the victim, which
Uh,
was worse than the charges that they gave to the person who shot him in the first place?
they're all summary charges, huh? Heard before in the magisterial court. But if you think that's the end of it, there's a lot more to come. First of all, the they did not charge, they did not reveal who was the third person, and they did not charge him at all.
Wow.
One of the men. Good. Secondly, they did not charge joint enterprise account, meaning that they acted together in concert, which they did. The reason, of course, we can only surmise is that if they did that, Karim's charges are a bit more serious than the ones that they charged Ashel. And if they did joint enterprise, they will have to charge the third person, and they will also have to charge her with the most serious offense. So they have decided to separate the issues, quite contrary to law and to any sort of proper administration of justice. But that's still not all. That is still
Wow. Kay, hold on one second. Hold it there, Kay. There's a lot. There's a lot that we have to digest. There is a lot that we have to
yes.
digest. We just happen to have the man, and we gonna come back to Nekeisha. Nekeisha, I see you. Your internet is holding up good now. I think we just lost Cornelius. I was gonna go to him, but we just lost him. So let's jump to Nekeisha and see if she. Okay, Cornelius is coming back now. Let me see if I could get Cornelius back on right now. This is Mr. Cornelius John. I don't know if you could hear me. Could you guys hear me? Folks that's managing Cornelius'
Yes,
device?
yes.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much. Could you,
Cornelius John.
yes, could you go in an area where, because we're not seeing you, we're seeing a big silhouette of your face. We can't see your face at all. So I don't know. I mean, it's not as important. I mean, at least we could hear you, which is very important. But if you could see you, it's even better. While you search for that space there, this is Mr. Cornelius John. Everybody, this
Where
is the
the internet connection is
okay. All
kind
right,
of poor, so I'll just,
just okay. Just stay in that corner there. Then stay in that corner there. It's more important that we
yes,
hear you. It's more important that we hear you, Mr. Cornelius John.
yeah,
This is the first time on your program. On this
yeah,
program, this is the first time we're getting a chance to speak with you. You could stay right there. That's pretty good. Mr. Cornelius John, welcome to the program.
yeah.
Hearing something here that is sounds crazy to me. It sounds like something out of some kind of freaking movie of some sort. Explain to us what happened the
Uh-huh.
day the three individuals came into your yard and assaulted you and shot you in the leg. Explain that scenario that day in question for us.
But the 13th, I was actually around this area, just coming through from here when I saw three parcels heading for that direction in the back. So I say hello. I say hello. They turn back and they come up and one say, Mr. John. When he said, Mr. John, I say, good afternoon, sir. Then he called me, say, you want to kill the senator? I say, what are you talking about? As I say, what are you talking about? I was about right around here, sitting on a block across it. So what are you talking
Mhm.
about? Then one the guy come and he went behind my back, like in that direction. The senator was by that column and the other guy was by over there. So I say, all I want you to do, leave my family alone. I need my wife. I'm an old man. I need my wife to support me in my business, to go support me in my business. You have your own family. Leave my wife. By the time I say that, the guy behind my back pushed me on my shoulder. He say, relax. I say, let me relax myself. And I was on the blocks. Then the tall guy run off and kicked me off the blocks right here and kicked me come all around here. So as he kicked me on the ground, I was on the ground. Then he pulled my foot and he pulled the gun from my waist and cranked the gun, pulled my foot and shoot me in my foot. Then the other guy stooped his teeth, who was behind me, and the senator came across here now, put a foot on this wall like this, and point a gun because I was on the ground, say, if you call my effing name, I shoot you in your mouth. And then the two of them, and meet the other one that leave before them go up the road. Just,
Oh,
hello?
yeah, I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you, Mr. John. Mr. John, were these individuals wearing masks?
Ah,
What is
I'm not hearing
individual?
so good.
What is individuals wearing a mask? Okay, we lost connection there with Cornelius John, and but he's gonna come back on here. Kay and okay, Mr. Cornelius John is coming back on. Guys, we having some terrible connection with the folks in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, but this story will be told, and we will make sure that we get the story, we get all of the story. Mr. John is back with us here. Yes, Mr. John, you back with us? Are you hearing me?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
Mr. Cornelius, did you know any of these individuals?
I know the lady. I know her if in the village very well. She grew up in the village, and I see her all the time.
So if she was wearing mask, how did you identify her?
Her walks and and the way her look, because the mask on her face, everything, the walks, everything I know her by, and the height, everything.
Wow. Wow. Okay, come and explain this thing here to me. Because this I don't get it. I am lost. Every time I hear the story, now I'm hearing it from his mouth, I am even more lost.
Um, I
Yeah.
sometimes I'm lost for words to you,
Huh?
because said the, if it was not for the prompt
Yeah.
intervention, there would have been no charges. It would have died, and poor Mr. John would have been left
Internet
without
bad.
any sort of compensation or any sort of justice. But he's not even getting proper justice, because I was
It's gone.
saying that even though it took nearly 3 months for them to charge, and that they trumped up a charge against him to have him to charge him for threatening, using threatening language. Listen, they have set it up in such a way that it is almost certain that the perpetrators will be acquitted, because, as I said, they did not charge for the trespass that joined them together. They did not charge a third individual, and they have doctored whoever did it. When I say they, I am not saying any names. All I'm saying that Mr. John tried for weeks to get his medical report. They kept putting him off. They said that it was lost, the records. He could not get it. So he made it public after trying for about 5 weeks or so, 6 weeks to get it. He made it public. Immediately he made it public, the hospital administrator declared that she had it in her office. So I sent him back to get the medical report. And to our horror and consternation, the medical report included evidence that contradicted what he said, what he said at the hospital. The medical report left out the woman. The only person that he identified, the medical report did not refer to that, but said that he told them that it was 2 men who attacked him, and that one man kicked him down, and that the other man shot him in his leg. Now, that is to make sure that when the story comes to court, it will be completely different from what he said. No lady was there. Only one man really did the kicking and the shooting and so forth. And of course, the third person put the gun in his mouth. So it was so altered to show that it was 2 men actually did the attacking and no woman was there, but that was not all. It went on to declare that he was living with his wife and children, trying to justify that they came there to defend the wife, because that is what the prime minister went on the radio and said at the matter. But she called him, reported to him, and they were going in defense of a woman. So the medical report reflects that he's living with his wife and children. That is not so. They have been somewhat estranged. They're not living together. And even more alarmingly, it declares that he drinks alcohol. Now, it is very unusual to put these type of details, to put evidence of a case in a medical report, and to put erroneous evidence. Listen, on that medical report, then the DPP apparently sent and collected his medical report without his consent or knowledge. His medical report. He is the victim. and without his consent or knowledge. And when he went to collect it, he could not get it. So definitely we know that they have his medical report and they're going to use it in the case, and it is going to contradict in a substantial way what he has to say. That is the gravamen of this whole matter. Even more so, it left out things that could have been put in because he was kicked in his stomach. But if you, and so badly that he actually defecated on himself. And when he got there, he said he had to use the bathroom because it was smelly. Now, nothing like that is in the report. It doesn't reflect even that he was kicked in his stomach at all. So his story is going to be very seriously different from the medical report. Now, if I was a defense lawyer, that those people were going to walk based on the medical evidence that he is supposed to have said to the hospital. It would sound as if he was either drunk because he drinks, or he made up the thing, or he could not get his facts straight. It is alarming, but it does not end there. It does not end there. When we got disclosure, to our great surprise and dismay, the chief independent eyewitness her witness statement was not revealed, which means that it's clear they don't intend to call her. Now, she is the person who will show that there was no cutlass, so they cannot run the defense that he lunged at them with a cutlass and therefore the shot was fired. Legally, they should not be able to do it. This witness will show there was no cutlass. There were two policemen who came there and took him to the hospital, which could show also from the pictures that they took that there was no cutlass. The pictures are not going to be before the court. The shell that they recovered is not going to be before the court so far, based on what they have revealed. And the most important witness, the only eyewitness, independent witness, is not going to be before the court. So when you minus those three things, and you minus the fact that there are charges that they should have done that it's not done, and then you add the medical report, a clear case of corruption, of intention to follow the matter that way. And therefore, based on what we have as disclosure, it is clear to me that the case will be won. She'd walk free, and Mr. John may well be convicted based on their evidence.
Well, I just called Sharon that if I can't even...
Go ahead, Kate.
Yes, sorry. Based on their evidence, he may even well be convicted, because you got the third person whose name they have not revealed and whom they have not charged at all. It appears to me that in return for not charging him, he's backing up their story about the cutlass being there.
Wow.
Serious. How can you explain that you charge as the senator and you charge the director of public prosecution, and this third person who is an ordinary driver, you don't charge him at all? Look,
wow.
This is one of the worst examples of what could go wrong, of the poor administration of justice in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and how the long arms of those who are the power can intervene or can by omission cause grave injustice. What is bad about this whole thing and alarming, is that Mr. John was a diehard supporter of Ralph Gonsalves, who is in power.
Are you right?
Yes.
Mr. John is a supporter of the makes it
even enough now, you see. When you compare him now with the new senator that Gonsalves appoint, obviously everybody is not equal in his eyes, or in their eyes, I should say, because he has tried in every way. Every time he opened his mouth is to more or less ridicule the lawyer, Mr. John, outlandish remarks he's making, and to vindicate the senator. He has never once said, oh, what a pity this happened, or they were rash, or nothing. He's always vindicated her and praised her, but say words to denigrate the victim, or words to that effect. It's an atrocious situation to be in, and as I said, it's only by the grace that the public is keeping this alive, and we're still waiting to see what will happen in the final analysis.
This sounds to me as a classic example of what you call corruption. It stinks, it rank, it fuming of corruption. It's blatant, it's very clear. Here we have a man that got shot, and every single attempt is being done to protect the people who assaulted him and shot him. And to make matters worse, they end up charging him for assaulting them, and he was the one that shot. There's evidence that he was shot. He got a bullet in his foot. He got a bullet in his foot. So there's no question as to if he was charged. What, did he shoot himself? Someone shot him, right? Let me go to Nekeisha, because we're bringing all of this thing into perspective, guys, and as to why the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines is protesting. We saw the video earlier. Rise Hairouna has been on the ground in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and promoting for folks to come out on the street and protest because of this, because there have not been a proper administration of justice. It look as it's like on the siege. The people are furious. The people are angry. To add insult to injury, they just charged Mr. Cornelius John. Let's go to Keisha. Keisha, could you hear me? Nekeisha, could you hear me? No, I'm not hearing you. I'm not hearing you, Nekeisha. We'll sort out your audio and come back. Yeah. Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Nekeisha, yeah, I can hear you now. I can hear you now. Right. So, Nekeisha, what is the feeling on the ground in St. Vincent? I know you're there. I know you have to be as frustrated as I am, because I don't understand how all of this could transpire and there could be no justice, and there's so much push to cover this thing down. What is the feeling on the ground in St. Vincent and the Grenadines?
You couldn't have said administration.
Okay, we're having hold on, Nekeisha, we're having some problems with you on your
totally
internet connection there. Let's go to Nyla John.
Back.
Nyla, I know you're not in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, but you're able to remotely mobilize Rise Hairouna in St. Vincent and the Grenadines to ensure that people go out and keep this active. What is the mood on the ground in St. Vincent and the Grenadines with the people, the frustration level?
I believe people are highly, highly frustrated, and sometimes people just need that leadership in order to get out there and protest. People are expressing that are there two different types of law? Is there law for the man in high place, and is there a law for the poor man? And so people they're not going to give up. They've expressed that whenever protest action is called, that they will be there until justice prevails in the nation. I think that people are in it for the long haul, and we will continue as an organization to push forward with protest action, and we will continue to sustain that protest. It's a very, very, it's very concerning. Mr. John is, he has been shot. There's nothing been done about this situation. And as you saw in the video, tensions are very high. And one of the things that you also recognize in the video is police are brutalizing protesters. And that's also quite concerning. But we, Rise Hairouna is not giving up, and we're really thankful for the ground team, and thankful to all the protesters along with the front line. There's another organization, and there's also a group that has a t-shirt called Justice for All. And so everyone is coming together, and we will not give up.
Right.
As Kay has stated, it seems as if these people would walk free because of them tampering Mr. John's medical report. and a number of other things, and the charges that were laid are not sufficient. And so, as she said, Mr. John might be charged and they would walk free because of the positions that they hold.
Yeah.
And so I think if that happens, things are going to get worse. And as I said, we're not going to give up. We're not giving up. We will continue protesting for the rights of Vincentians. This is also bigger than Mr. John, because there has been other incidents where the rule of law never applied. There was an incident some years ago that I was very much so involved with my other nonprofit, Leave Out Violence, of a young woman who had an affair with the prime minister's son. He's a minister of government, and they deemed her to be mentally unstable. That what she was saying was a lie. They institutionalized her at the mental asylum and injected her, and I'm sure that you know of the incident. And so
I'm aware of it.
this is something that we're not going to give up on. Mr. John has been shot, and Vincentians are very, very, very frustrated, but they're also very motivated. So they're not going to give up.
Mr. John, let's bring
And I
in
hope that we
back.
can get Nikki back in.
Yeah, Nikki, internet is acting up a bit. We're not able to hear her, but we have Mr. John. Let me bring you guys up to speed again. We got Mr. Cornelius John, the man in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. He was shot in the leg, and the things just not going right in terms of the legal system as it applies to this man. Right, everything turned sour because at this point in time, guys, believe it or not, Mr. John has been given a few charges, right? While the people who are known to have shot him and assaulted him with a firearm have gotten some frivolous sort of brush off easy kind of charge that they could easily be thrown out of court. So it seems like how this whole thing is being constructed that they may never be charged. The question I'm going to ask Kay when we get back is why? Who is this particular Morgan person and why is she being protected so much? But let me talk to Mr. John real quickly here. Mr. John, how has your life changed? How have you been mobilizing? How have you been getting around? I know you're a businessman. How is your business going? How is life? We're not able to hear you, Mr. John. Like your audio is muted. I'm not able to hear you. All right. Well, we'll come back. We'll come back. Probably Kay could respond to that question. Kay, how has Mr. John life changed after this? Because we know that he's a businessman, and what's happening now with him?
Well, he's in a very difficult financial position because he was a self-made, is a self-made, he's a farmer. So he depends on his going to farm for his living, and he also produced and sold blocks, which he cannot now do because of the problem with his leg, obviously. So he has been without an income from since this incident occurred. And also he was the breadwinner for his family. He supported his family, his children. They don't live with him, but they're big grown, some of them, but he does support them also. So apart from the pain and suffering that he's had to endure, he's also going through a great economic difficulty. Now, Mr. John should not have to pay a lawyer to defend him because he should have had the DPP, the Commission of Police, and the whole administration of justice in St. Vincent, which is what taxpayers pay them for, to bring an action to prosecute the perpetrators. Instead, he's had to go now and employ a lawyer. And for him to get any sort of compensation, even in a civil way, he's going to have to again pay a lawyer. So all of that adds to his woes: economic, mental, social, physical, and then to have to confront this horrible medical report that makes him look like he drinks alcohol and confuse issues because based on what they put in it. I don't know. I can say that I know he's a man of God, and that is probably the only thing. As well as, of course, he's heartened by the public, the great public response. He's heartened by that. But it is his faith that is sustaining him.
Yeah. Let's get some callers on this here, guys. If you have been following the case, or you are puzzled as I am with a lot of these things here, we have this situation where this man was shot, right, in his leg by three person, two of which is identified, and there are some small charges that was laid. Nothing serious for the firearm and for the incident, for the shooting incident. Um, and it seems, as to what was written in the police in the incident report, that it was purposely done that way in order to so that it would look as if the guys, Mr. Cornelius John, is somehow crazy or wacko or drunk, and he somehow attacked them. Right, so it was made purposely to make him look like not a credible victim. I don't know. He was in the leg. I don't know if that's a legitimate word. Credible victim. So this is crazy. Now we open up the phone line 718-701-5720. We're taking your call, and you could ask a question to Mr. John. We have Kay Bacchus here. We have Naila John, and we're having some issues connecting with Nekeisha. Her internet is giving some issues there, but we're gonna still try to get her back on because she has a lot to say. She's on the ground. We're going to take in your call, 718-701-5720. The question I want to pose now to Kay is a question I know everybody is asking. Why? Who is this Morgan person? And why is it that it's so important that the whoever powers that be is protecting her from litigation? Who is that person and why?
Now, that is exactly what is an amazing um, position, because Ashel Morgan was a relatively unknown person in St. Vincent. Yes, she's a lawyer practicing, but she doesn't have any big practice, doesn't know outstanding cases until suddenly after the election in November last year, she was selected by the Prime Minister to become a senator and was also selected by them to be the Deputy Speaker of the House. So
Mm.
that she was not really known. It is also said that he wants his son, as you know, to succeed him, but his son's seat is threatened. He barely pulled through in that seat last election, and so they have been grooming Ashel to take over in Eastern George, where the son is currently, the son runs, and put the son in the popular seat which Dr. Gonzalez has to ensure that he would win the seat. So that is part of the reason. There are other things being said that we cannot say on air, why he's protecting this girl so badly, even risking the fall of his own party. Because not only, as we said, that Mr. John was one of his diehard supporters, but many of his own supporters are angry that he's allowing this incident, which clearly is perverse and wrong, to be defending someone who has been embroiled in something like this, to the extent that you would cause the whole nation to be demonstrating against you. It's a very good question, and that is what I want Vincentians and all persons to be ruminating on. There is something more in the mortar besides the pestle, but
Yeah.
that's what we can say
Yeah.
on air.
Let's take a quick call. We got a caller on the line. Caller, where you calling us from?
Brooklyn, New York, Junior.
Brooklyn, New York. How are you doing, Brooklyn? Hey,
Junior.
Doug, my friend.
Yeah. I am good, but you know, Junior, this story here is just basically the cream and the crop of a lot of stuff. Some people will say the cream of the crop of a lot of crap that's been going on in St. Vincent in basically the same manner. But the only reason this one rising higher to the top is because it's involved one of the lead people in the prosecution of crime, which is the deputy DDP, Mr. Colin, Mr. Nelson,
Kareem Nelson.
and who is a lawyer, and the deputy director of public prosecution, and a senator who is also a lawyer by profession, and the deputy speaker of the House of Assembly of St. Vincent and The Grenadines Parliament. So that is the reason I believe why it rises this high to the top. But a lot of little man been getting more than this over time in St. Vincent and The Grenadines. And I really commend Rice Hairouna and all the people who come out to protest. And Junior, a lot of people don't believe protests work, but I am a man who believes that when you stand up for your right, it will work because justice shall prevail. And the last thing I would say, Junior, is I wouldn't be surprised if Mr. John was in jail and the others wind up back with the job laughing after Mr. John.
Wow.
Have a good night.
Wow. Some deep stuff. Well, if Kay had it her way, that won't happen because Kay is a very good lawyer. Kay, is that a possibility that Mr. John could somehow wind up in jail?
Well, the charges that he has, they do carry jail sentences, but I am not. I don't see that happening in the normal run of things at all. But we are not in the normal run of things. That is the problem. He should not even be before the court.
This is some crazy stuff, guys. And Kay, what you guys are saying, Kay and Nikki, you could chime in if you're hearing us. You could test your mic. All of this is being done to somehow keep a hold on power because of allegedly moving his son in the position so that he could succeed him, and Ashel could move in his son position, his son constituency, all of which to maintain a grip on power. That is the narrative.
Yes, well, that is the bottom line, to maintain a grip on power, obviously. That is the bottom line. I mean, we are just saying that, surmising that it is because he wants her to run, and they have started some sort of campaigning. Persons are surmising that that could be one of the reasons, not necessarily the only reason.
Right. Rice Hairouna, where are you guys going next with this?
Can you
Because
guys
from
hear me?
not too good. Your song it's crackly. And it was so important that we get your perspective because you're on the ground, you are there in the trenches and making sure that these protests happen. So anyone from Rice Hairouna, you could take this one.
Oh.
What's next, Nalia, for and this protest?
Oh, it looks as if we're having some technical difficulties with Nikki. I apologize. As I said, we will continue protest action until justice prevails in the nation. And so
And what is
I want
justice? What is
everybody to be
justice?
on.
What is justice for you? What is justice for Rice Hairouna? What does it look like?
Well, justice should apply to every single person in the nation. There shouldn't be justice for, as I said, the man who's up there and the poor man. And Mr. Cornelius John must be able to, first he shouldn't be charged. That's number one. And the senator, along with the deputy DPP, should be charged. And they should, the charges that they've laid are not sufficient. And so I believe that, Mr. Cornelius John did not shoot himself. Someone shot him. He was on his property. And I believe that if justice is not prevailed in this matter, this society is going to deplete, where people are going to think that it's okay to enter somebody's property, to trespass and to get a gun and to shoot someone, and there's no consequences. And so, our slogan for this protest action is no justice, no peace, and we will continue. We will protest until the senator has been asked to resign as Senator and Deputy Speaker of the House. Justice is that the Deputy DPP is asked to resign, that he resigns, and that, for me, I would even go to as far as them being disbarred. They're both lawyers, and so they should be disbarred. And so we actually have a petition, and we're going to revise that petition, and we're going to push forward with that petition. We would like them to be disbarred. Rise Hairouna, we have written to the OACS bar, and we will continue to push forward with that. And Mr. John, he needs to be able to be compensated. This man now is injured. He cannot, go to the farm. He cannot conduct his business as usual. And so we are saying that there has to be justice for this man. If we let this slide, we're going to end up into a situation of dictatorship. The country is going down that road, and we cannot allow this to slide. And I believe people are ready to go. And so Rise Hairouna, along with other organizations, will continue its protest until we get that justice.
Yeah, yeah. And Kay, the final word is yours on this. I want to know, what does justice look like for you, the lawyer? What are you asking for? What are you looking for
Well,
as justice?
obviously, I want all the charges against Mr. John to be dropped or dismissed. That's the first thing. Imagine he has to go to bed with a threat of 3 criminal charges over his head. So I want those to be removed. If they don't drop them, and we have to go to court and do a trial, then that they be dismissed. Secondly, I want his name to be vindicated. I want the medical record to be corrected, which I have already written the hospital administrator and the doctor who signed it and copied to the DPP, so that they would correct his medical report and the records in the hospital, so that he's not reflected as being a drunkard or someone who drinks and who gives a confusing story that is totally contrary to what he would have said umpteen times. I would also like him to get civil compensation to put him back in the position he would have been in economically, at least in terms of the loss of income that he has suffered, and then compensation for the pain and the suffering that he's had to go through. But there's also another troubling matter that is disturbing Mr. John, and that is the fact that it was reported that he reports that he faced Ashel Morgan taking a gun from her waist or pocket or something and pushing that gun in his face and threatening to shoot him. She doesn't live very far from him, and it has been revealed and confirmed by the police that she does not have a licensed firearm.
What? She does not have a licensed firearm?
Not have a licensed firearm.
So here is a $1 million question,
If
Kay. Is she charged for having an unlicensed firearm?
No, she's not charged with that at all. And the way they set it up, they all will say that she had one. So my client is a madman. Remember, he drinks. And it is so disturbing because any person found with an unlicensed firearm is put in jail. And for a long time, it is a very, very serious offense. But there's, as far as I know, there's no proper investigation into it. Where is this gun? Where is it? It's very disturbing. Is that why the bullet, the shell is not going to be brought into evidence? to be certain that that shell came from Mr. Karim's Nelson's gun. His gun he does have a licensed firearm. It is the assumption that it is the licensed firearm that was used. But my client said very clearly that she also had a gun. So there were two guns there in his yard that night. And one, according to even the police reports, is that she does not have a license to carry a firearm. But
That's pretty interesting.
can you imagine, therefore, that the police commissioner and the DPP and even the Minister of National Security would how would they feel if one of their senators can be bold enough to be walking around and threatening people? If that I mean, that is what it is reported from Mr. John that happened. So there's a deeper and disturbing issue of how many persons have licensed firearms who feel they're connected to the government, and that if they were to get into trouble, it can be buried. That is a very disturbing thought. When you factor in that the government, the police station in Georgetown was broken into, or guns went missing, and over 1,000, I think it is, rounds of ammunition, and AK-47 and Glock guns went missing, disappeared out of the station. Some of it apparently they have recovered and charged some persons, but not all. When you factor that in, and you know that there are many persons walking around with unlicensed firearms, I want to say something. I want to explain the psychological advantage that persons who are close to the ULP has and has had for years in St. Vincent. You see this case of what happened to Mr. John and Ashel, and it is putting a terrible fear into the hearts of Vincentians that there is nothing that is too horrendous for a high-up supporter of the ULP to do and not get away with it. You would get away with it. It is frightening. It is a terrifying state of affairs, so that the people of St. Vincent cannot afford to rest. The fear that they have that they'll be victimized for coming out to protest has to pale into insignificance of the fear of the total destruction of our administration of justice and the rule of law. And what is also disturbing is the attitude of the senator. Let me tell you, when she came to court, that girl strutted into court as if she was walking down a runway. Absolutely no remorse for what she did. She stared at me with poisoned eyes. I mean, a look as if I have done something to her. All I'm doing is defending my client. That is my right. And even in her letter, when she was forced to withdraw from Parliament, she took 1 month. She asked for 1 month leave of absence, and she said she has no legal or moral obligation to do it. I mean, it is not. This is not about Ashel either. This is about a demonic, destructive situation in St. Vincent, where some persons feel they are above the law. And this case makes it appears that way. And you know what is even more frightening? You could even attack a diehard ULP person and get away if you are higher and more important in the eyes of the powers that be. That means that only very few people have that privileged position. The rest of us are in that high threat, that serious position we're in. It is a terrifying state of affairs to be in St. Vincent.
Yeah. Listen, guys. As we always say that this story is very, very interesting to follow. It's interesting because of how justice is like justice for some, or the law working for some and not working for others. So it's interesting to see how it could be so bold faced with it. Right? It's like they're doing it in bright daylight. everyone is seeing what's happening. It's like, you're hiding something right in front of somebody's eyes. I guess that's what they're trying to do. But I'm happy that Rise Hairouna and yourself, Kay, is pointing it out and continue to stay on top of this, because having it been for Rise Hairouna and you guys, we would not have been speaking about this and bringing the attention of this to the world. This would have been a situation where Mr. Cornelius John would have been shot in the leg, and probably if they didn't see him at the point in time, he probably would have been dead,
Yeah,
right?
he could have bled to death.
He could have
But
led to death, right?
I'm
So we
puzzled
got a
that.
we got a quick call coming in from WhatsApp. Let me just take this quick call. Caller, you live? Where are you calling us from?
Hi. Yes, hi, Junior. I'm calling from Canada.
Hey.
I just want to ask one question. Why is this man being targeted? What's the problem?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I would like to know that.
Yes, that's a good question. Um, Kay, why is he target? You have to listen her response on the live, okay? But thanks for your question. She wants to know, yeah, why is Mr. John being is targeted like that?
Well, he just had to be the unfortunate position of being attacked by persons who are considered to be above the law. And in particular, the senator who is considered to be able to do whatever because she's in that privileged position. And because he has not given up on his rights and he has been fighting along with Vincentians, and I must say the NDP has given maximum support. The leader of the opposition and the party that I belong to, they have given maximum support to Mr. John also, because they also don't like the injustice and
Yeah, but
believe.
there's another side to this, Kay. There's another side that we haven't even touched. I know we short on time. His wife, and she being friendly with the Morgan lady,
Yes,
and we
yes,
haven't
that
even touched on that, and that could have been, I
yes,
don't know.
that's been the catalyst. She was going out with the woman's with Asher was taking her out to the camps or something like that and keeping her out late hours when she should have been helping economically, going in the land with her husband as she was accustomed doing. And he dared to speak to her about that. That seems to be what caused this whole thing. He dared to tell her, don't keep going out with the senator. We married for over the or 20 something years. You have a family, and we have a family to maintain. You can't be running around with a little unmarried woman. It is words like that that probably incensed the senator. I say probably because there's no other reason we can think of except that, she said there were words said. Because if you remember, the first thing he said that Karim said to him was, "Oh, so you want to kill the senator?" Of course, he never threatened to kill the senator, according to him.
Right.
But just saying anything about her, she's so high and mighty, that was enough to maybe cause this whole thing. It's the only sort of explanation to say, how did this come about?
Yeah, yeah. There is a lot. There's a lot more to unpack here, but we're short on time. Rise Hairouna, thank you so much. I'm sorry we couldn't get more from Mr. Cornelius John because his video was he was having some technical issues, and also from Nekeisha, we were not able to speak to her at all because of the technical issue that she's having right there. But we are going to keep monitoring the story. Rise Hairouna, we're going to have you guys back again as you continue protest action. Are you guys planning another protest coming up anytime soon?
Well, Junior, as another radio host said, Rise Hairuna keeps its cards very close to its heart. So just stay tuned. We usually don't reveal things until it is well planned out. And so, but however, we will continue with protest action. Everybody just keep their ears to the ground, and something will be announced as soon as those decisions are made. But as I said, we will continue, and we will not cease until justice prevails, and nothing is going to stop us until we get that justice.
All right, guys. We're going to continue to follow this story right here. Thanks to Kay. Thanks to Rise Hairouna. Thanks to Mr. Cornelius John for being available to chat with us amidst the connection issues. We appreciate you, and we're going to keep you guys connected. What's happening in St. Vincent and the Grenadines and around the world. Thank you, guys. We'll keep in touch. All right.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah. So you see, there's many layers to this onion. This onion have a lot of layers. What did she mean when she said she's going out with his wife? Like, what does that really mean? Huh? It's a lot of layers to the onion. We're gonna keep looking deeper. All right. But one thing we know for sure, right? At this point in time, this whole situation here disrupted Mr. Cornelius John's life completely. The man is a businessman, is an entrepreneur doing his thing. He can't go to work. The man is limping. He has shot. He had bullet in his foot. Still, I don't know if they took it out, but he had multiple surgery. He had to have multiple surgery to remove it. His life would forever be changed, right? And it's still not clear as to why. And think about it. If it's going in the trajectory that it's going right now, it's quite possible that the people who are responsible for shooting Mr. Cornelius John in the leg could get away with it. It's quite possible. It's important that the public pressure continues so that we could get answers to these very serious questions. We are calling on the administration. They're probably, and we say there's always multiple sides to the story. All right. I want to hear the other side of the story. Probably Morgan won't want to come on, but we would like to hear their side of it as well. So we open the forum to hear the other side of this conversation. All right. Everyone have a story to tell. All right, let me also say really quickly, I want to thank and big up my friends over there at my high school SAS alumni of class of 96. They all tuned in and giving me all the high fives. Big up yourself, everyone that's watching there. Shelly, I see you. Bernice, I see you. All my friends there, Van Burn and everyone. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Who else locked on? Shelly and Naomi, everyone for sharing in there. My high school back in SAS. Thank you guys for supporting and always supporting your boy. Guys, also I want to tell you this, that Ariza is doing it big, because Ariza is coming to New York. Yeah, Ariza is coming to New York, guys. And it's not just Ariza is coming to New York. They're providing so many opportunities now that they are in New York. So if you want to join the Ariza team, right? If you want to join the Ariza team and you're in New York, the Ariza team would be at Petit Martinique Fun Day on July 18th. And at Seaview Park in Brooklyn, New York, to facilitate the following. They're going to be doing some grand queries. So if you have questions to ask them, you could go right there and ask your questions. They're going to be there. Also, they're going to be doing new membership. Yeah, you could sign up new membership there at Rise. Sorry, I almost said Rise Hairouna at Ariza. All right. They're also going to be doing new products, service, and sign up. This is a big deal, guys. If you're in New York and you want to be a part of it, this is what you got to do, guys. Come in on that particular day, bring 2 pieces of ID, proof of address, payslip, on job letter, $75, and sign up to the Ariza Credit Union. For more information and membership requirement, email events@arizacu.com. Your financial freedom, your future. Ariza. Also, guys, let me tell you about this. Riderslive.com. Yeah, riderslive.com. This is our exclusive 24 hours broadcast platform. You could watch Ride Along and other programs live. Yeah, live all the time. It's always on. It's like a TV station. It never stops. All even in the night, you're bored, you want to sleep, there's nothing to watch. You could watch it on riderslive.com. Yeah, you could watch it. Go over there, riderslive.com. In fact, this program and all the other programs plus other programs is aired live on riderslive.com. Yeah, man. Check it out. A part of the Ride Along Media group of companies. All right. Guys, also, I want you to subscribe to us on YouTube. Yeah, man. Subscribe to us on YouTube because that's where the vibe is. When you go over there and you subscribe, you could just also hit the notification bell. You could watch us over there and connect us to your television. Watch us on YouTube. All the folks watching us on YouTube, big up the YouTube posse. Yeah, man, the YouTube. Big up all yourself. Thank you. Also, guys, if you love Ride Along and you want to continue to see this program go from strength to strength and bring programs that inform, entertain, and educate you on a daily basis, we do this every day. Well, Monday to Friday, but it seems like every day. Even on Saturdays, we're on. Because we never sleep. You probably don't see us on here, but we're on. We're working. Because this is a 24-hour job, right? This is one job that you can't sleep. It's like the police. We don't sleep. Because when you sleeping, we're on the phone. Our support team is on the phone taking calls. People call us with questions and we provide services and all this other stuff. So go ahead and support. Click the link right at the bottom that is pinned right there and leave a donation. Here's the next big project that we're doing, guys. Just last week, we gave away over $2,000. $2,000 because our initiative, our plan is to promote entrepreneurship. So we gave away $2,000, and we're doing it again very soon. Here is our next project, guys. So we give away 30-something ham for Christmas. We give away thousands of dollars for groceries. That's what we did for Christmas as well. Because we understand people, things happen. Coronavirus came. People are flat. We came to help. So the ham, the grocery shopping, the entrepreneur program that we did. Here's the next thing. Get it. Listen. We are doing our next plan is to get 1,000 back to school bags filled with pen, pencils, markers, erasers, everything for back to school 2021, September. We want to give away 1,000 to 1,000 students backpacks, pencils, pens, everything that they need to go back to school. Now, this project is going to cost a lot. We estimate that we're going to be spending over $10,000 in putting this thing together. We're going to put up the monies, but we want all your help, right? Paid forward. And we're going to have the official flyer out so you guys could donate to this particular cause. Now, if you are a parent and you would need one of this backpack to send your kids back to school, we're going to have an easy sign-up form to include your name so that when we donate and when we sending this stuff out, you are on the list. All right. So 2 parts. 1, you could donate to ensure that this is as big. I mean, if we get so much support, we're giving away 2,000 bags. I'm telling you, it's as big as it could go, as big as it could go. Big, right? But we're starting at 1,000. We want to give 1,000 bags, pen, pencils, markers, erasers, full bag, everything inside of there. Full bag. But we need your help as well. So you could support, you could donate. Also, parents, we want you to include your name. No purchase necessary. We're not asking you to buy anything. You don't even have to be a viewer of Ride Along. You don't even have to like us. It's fine. I mean, it would be nice if you like us. I mean, Lynn, it would be nice if they like us, right? But that's not a requirement, however. The only requirement is that you're in need of these items. You include your name, and just like that, you are in. Easy breezy squeezy. All right. Yeah. So that we're going to hear more information on that coming up. And I'd like to congratulate my my friend from St. Vincent and The Grenadines that came second in our entrepreneur ride based program, or Vinci French. She came second in this entrepreneur, and she got her cash, and she's advancing her business as we speak. And everyone who participate, but we're going to do another ride biz and give another set of businesses an opportunity to take their business to the next level. All right, so here we go. We doing it. All right. Anyway, guys, I got to go. It's my time. Bernadette Saniscar say, I never get anything, Junior. How you gonna say that? That's not true. That's not true. Yvette Isaac, how you doing? Listen, guys, it starts with you being a supporter because it's paying it forward. If you could afford it, guys, drop a little something in there, because all the funds that we collect here and Ride Along, it goes towards putting gas in the car and giving it away to people who are in need of these services, products. All right. Bye, guys. I'm talking enough. It's time for me to go to sleep. Catch you guys. Hey, my friends over there, and it's called. You guys can't be a part of this though, but it's called Us Again, Class of 96. It's a WhatsApp group. Very excited to see some of my old classmates from St. Andrew's Anglican Secondary School. Great things. And we're planning some other big things as well. We will soon, in the near future. Peace out, guys. I am out. Catch you guys again tomorrow. It's Ride Trivia tomorrow. Bye-bye.
You are tougher than still on this battlefield. You are tougher than still. Yo, just show me some strength. Don't it there, show me a lion now.
Feeling hungry, grab a snack. Caribbean food delight. Jamaican patties, light and flaky. Caribbean food delight. Taste the difference. Caribbean food delight. Grab a patty, take a bite. Caribbean food delight. Quick and easy, grab a patty, take a bite. Caribbean food delight.
Oh yeah.
Welcome to TD Bank, where you'll find the personalized attention you deserve and the legendary experience you expect. Let's do business. If you are a medical or dental practitioner, contact me to hear about our tailored lending solutions for residential mortgages, equipment purchases, practice-related commercial mortgages and refinance. Visit me at 500 Baychester Avenue to hear more about our full range of personal and small business banking solutions. See you soon.
Williams Funeral Service serve you with dignity and compassion as you mourn. Every day, we embark on the journey of life, and one day, the journey will end. It's on that day that you can entrust the celebration of life of your loved ones to David Williams Funeral Service. Call 718-291-3823.